Hello everybody, my name is Hannah and today I'm going to be doing my May wrap-up. So I decided to do things differently this month, and instead of just talking about books, I'm gonna add TV shows and movies to the mix. But first, books. I read 7 books in May, which is a lot, especially considering I didn't even pick up a book until halfway through the month when school was over and I didn't have to worry about finals and stuff anymore. So I'm really proud of myself and I loved almost every book I read. And so I started off this month by reading The Titan's Curse by Rick Riordan. This is the 3rd book in the Percy Jackson and the Olympian series, one of my favorite series. I've read it like 5 times now. And yeah, one of my goals for the summer was to reread Rick Riordan's books, and I started with this one because I don't like the first 2 in the series. But yeah, if you don't know what the series is about, we follow this kid named Percy Jackson, who is the son of the Greek god Poseidon. Because of this, he goes to this camp named Camp Half-Blood. And every summer while he's there, he goes on a bunch of adventures with his friends. And in this book, his adventure, or like quest, takes him across the United States to save his best friend, Annabeth. And it's so good. This is my favorite one in the series. I like it so much mostly because of the characters. Like, we get to learn a lot about Percy in this book because Annabeth isn't with him all the time. And we also get to see a lot of the character Talia, who's my favorite character. And this is when my other favorite character, Nico, is introduced. And so it's just great. I love it a whole lot. And so after that, I couldn't help but pick up the next book, and that was The Battle of the Labyrinth. In this book, Percy Jackson and his friends explore Daedalus's labyrinth, as you could probably guess from the title. Yeah, what I like most about this book is Percy and Annabeth's dynamic, and I followed that up by reading The Last Olympian, which is the 5th and final book in the Percy Jackson series. And this book is hard to talk about because it's the 5th one, but basically Percy's just trying to save the world, because when is he not? I gave this book a 5 out of 5 stars, and I also gave the 2 before it 5 out of 5 stars. I forgot to mention that. But yeah, moving on. I couldn't just stop my Percy Jackson reread there. I had to keep going, and so I read The Lost Hero by Rick Riordan. This is the 1st book in the Heroes of Olympus series, which is like the sequel series to the Percy Jackson series. In this book, we follow Jason Grace, who is the son of the Roman god Jupiter. And one day he wakes up on a bus with amnesia. He doesn't know who he is or what he's doing, and apparently his 2 best friends are Leo Valdez, who's the son of Hephaestus, and Piper McLean, who's a daughter of Aphrodite. And so because there's a new great prophecy looming in the near future, I guess, he ends up having to go on a quest with his 2 new friends to try and get his memories back. And at the same time this is going on, Percy Jackson, our favorite guy, has gone missing, and they're also trying to figure out what's happened to him. And so I love this book a whole lot. It's not my favorite, but it is really, really good, and I really like the new characters introduced in it, and yeah, it was just as good the 5th time round. And so after that, I took a break from Percy Jackson for a while to read this other book, and I'm glad I read it. I just didn't like it very much, and that is Harry Potter and the Cursed Child by J.K. Rowling. It says J.K. Rowling, but it's not by J.K. Rowling. In this book, we follow Harry Potter's son, Albus Severus Potter, and his friend Scorpius Malfoy, as they go on adventures to try and live up to their father's name. Again, I didn't like this book very much. I thought the characters were really cool. I just thought it was put together really poorly. And yeah, so after that I needed something that I know I'd love, and so I was lucky enough to get this next book in my May Owl Crate. That came in the box was Eliza and Her Monsters by Francesca Zappia. And in this book we follow this girl named Eliza Merck, who in real life is this awkward, shy girl who only wears baggy sweatshirts, but online she is Lady Constellation, the author of this super popular webcomic called Monstrous Sea. And so she kind of likes to keep the online world and her real life world separate, but that all changes when this new guy comes into town named Wallace, and Wallace just so happens to Monstrous Sea fan fiction. And so in a way that kind of turns Eliza's world upside down, and it was really, really good. It was everything I wanted and more. and internet personalities, fan culture, internet friends, and even darker things that I wasn't expecting, like depression and anxiety, and it was really, really good. Definite 5 out of 5 stars, and I'm so happy I read it, and I'm so happy I got to read it before it was even released, which was really, really cool, because this book is also like signed, and it's a special edition, and it's like one of my new favorite books. It's amazing, and yeah, I recommend this book if you also like Fangirl or The Perks of Being a Wallflower. Just after that, I couldn't help myself, and I went back to the Heroes of Olympus series, and I read The Son of Neptune. My favorite book in the Heroes of Olympus series, I think. We follow Percy Jackson again. Find out that he also lost his memories and has amnesia, and the only thing he remembers is the name Annabeth, and he knows that he has to get back to her. And so that leads him to this place called Camp Jupiter, which is the safe haven, I guess, for Roman demigods, and that opens up a whole bunch of questions, and a new quest is issued for Percy and his two friends, Hazel Lovescu, who's a daughter of Pluto, and Frank Zing, who's a son of Mars. And as always, I gave that book 5 out of 5 stars. And the 7 books I read this month, amazing reading month. I spent like all of my time reading. It was amazing. Like I said, I also want to start talking about movies and TV shows on my channel more. And so I'm going to share with you guys 2 movies that I saw for the first time in May. Because I did TV shows too, but I didn't watch any TV shows this month. And so, yeah. The first one being Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. We follow Peter Quill and his fellow Guardians as they're guarding the galaxy, I guess. I like Guardians of the Galaxy 2 as much. Funny, and I liked the characters. It just wasn't that good in my opinion. It's the next movie I saw in May, wanting to see for forever, and that was La La Land. And so the Blu-ray version came on Redbox, which took forever, but I finally was able to get it, and it was so good. It's a jazz musical about this girl named Mia, who's an actress. This guy named Sebastian, who is a pianist. And it's amazing. It's so pretty and nice to look at, and I'm really glad I finally got to see it. Yeah, so those are all of the books that I read in May and all the movies that I saw in May. So much for watching. You can like and subscribe and comment and do all those fun things. And I will see you all next time. Goodbye. That was like really slow. Oh boy. All that hurt. In it, we follow not Percy Jackson's, what?